Artificial intelligence is everywhere now. And, the big conversations that people have is like, when is AI going to take our jobs? From my perspective, we have had our industry, our business chipped away at by artificial intelligence for years now. It's already here. It has already taken a bunch of jobs and dramatically changed the way we run Universe today, but probably not in the ways that you think. So in this video, I want to give you just a sense of how we do our work at Universe today, how we're adapting and dealing with the rise of artificial intelligence, how it's changed our work, how it's changed the structure of our company. And hopefully, if you work in media or you are worried about how AI is going to come for your job, you can get a sense of what we did, and maybe this will help you out. Now, you see me here on YouTube, but actually I'm the publisher of the Universe Today website, which I founded in 1999. I've been doing this for 27 years now, publishing space and astronomy news. We do podcasts, we do videos. We have a pretty large team of dedicated science writers who work on the latest space news about astrophysics and exoplanets and rocket launches. We interview astronauts and astronomers, Nobel Prize winners, and we write dozens of stories every week on Universe Today. Once Universe Today had grown to the point that I thought I could turn that into my full-time job, we needed a way to be able to pay the salaries of me and the other writers who were working with us. And so we went with the classic business model in the media industry, advertising. But in the last couple of years, we have seen the viability of advertisements as a model being completely torn apart and shredded. So first, let's just talk about how content is now being overwhelmed by artificial intelligence. And so websites like Universe Today, we research a story, we interview astronomers, we write a story, we post it on the internet. That's the old school way of doing journalism. But now these AI tools, large language models, will allow you to just instantaneously write an article. It might not be correct, it might be hallucinating, but it was cheap, very quick to do, and you can do it at scale. And so that increases the amount of noise that's out there on the internet, harder and harder to find signal. And so we're only able to produce a mere 30 to 40 stories a week. We can't produce millions every week. And so it's harder to rise above the slop. But if it wasn't bad enough, the problem is that the search engines are reducing the amount of visitors who come to your websites. And so in the old days, there was this deal, this agreement between us as the content creators and Google, where we would create content that would be useful to the people who are searching for information in their index. People would do a search query, they would come to our website. But now, if you do a search on Google, you will get the answer. Or you will get an AI overview, and there will be these tiny little references that direct you to where that content came from, if at all. And so say 10 years ago, we would get sometimes 100,000 visitors from Google in a day. We now get just a few thousand. And that is what everybody is seeing across the entire content industry. And that issue of the text-based slop has also showed up here on YouTube as well. So you're seeing videos that are created very quickly at scale. There's advertisements beside those videos, and so people are able to make money for a fraction of the work that we do. You would assume that this is the kind of thing that YouTube would want to fight here because it decreases the quality of the experience of being on this website. But YouTube has leaned into it. They have a couple of tabs in their creator studio. One shows you all of the trending videos in your industry, and for me, they are usually all slop. They also have a section that recommends videos that you could make, but has a set of AI tools that will allow you to make slop. And so YouTube is not working with us to make this problem go away. They can see the revenue benefits of adding all of this content to their channel. I deeply disagree, and I think this is going to make people not want to use YouTube in the future, but that's their business, not mine. And so we were earning less and less revenue from the ads on the website. You're having to put more ads on every single page, and it was decreasing the quality of the experience of the people. I would have teachers complaining to me that they would try to show a space information article in their class, and there would be ads that they really didn't want to show to their students. And we saw a decline in our advertising by about 80% over the course of a couple of years. So imagine how hard it would be to pay your bills if you had a 80% wage cut. And so when I said that AI changed my business forever, what it did was caused me to make a decision, a really important decision, that I had seen the writing on the wall. I'd seen the trends where things were moving, and I knew that this was not sustainable, that my next step was to start laying off people, and then my next step was to find a new job. And so about a year ago, I put out a call to our audience, to everybody who enjoys what we do. And I said, we are going to remove all of the advertisements from everything that we can. No ads in our newsletter, no ads on our website, no ads on our podcast, the minimum number of ads here on YouTube. And instead, we are going to try to fund Universe Today purely through the support of our patrons. And this was a big risk, because if that didn't work, then not only would I not have that revenue from the ads, I wouldn't have enough revenue from the patrons. It would just accelerate the destruction of our company. And yet here I am a year later, we were able to completely fill in that revenue gap and to be completely sustainable at this point. And people have suggested other platforms that I could move our content to, like Nebula and things like that. And Nebula is great. I like that kind of stuff. But I think that our content should be freely available to the entire world, to anybody who wants to be able to see it. You don't have to pay a fee to be able to access our content. And so we were able to do that with the website. We're able to do that with our newsletter, with Patreon. And in fact, we can do the same thing with our videos on YouTube. We publish the same video over on Patreon, and you don't have to become a patron. You don't have to support us to watch that stuff over there. That's been provided for you by the patrons. This is their gift to you. And this isn't just us, this is the entire industry. And you can see other people are coming up with new solutions. People are creating apps. People are using merch. People are putting things behind paywalls. And so you can't rely on advertisements. The old world doesn't exist anymore. So AI has dramatically changed my business, and it is continuing to change my business. And I suspect you probably think it sounds like I'm against AI, but that is not true. I am very pro technology, and I think artificial intelligence is one of the most exciting and impactful technologies that has ever been developed. And I am using it in my daily life, and I see lots of places where it has value. But I also recognize that there's lots of places where it adds zero value and in fact causes harm. I use it to help me program. I use it to help some of the administrative tasks that I use it to help me with research projects. But the thing that I don't do is have it create content, have it create videos, have it create words, images, podcasts. That is my authentic voice. Now, it definitely sucks and writes very generic, very bland writing, creates videos that are detached from the laws of physics, creates images that look unrealistic, creates music that is very boring. But even if it was amazing, I still wouldn't want to use it, because that's your authentic voice. Why would you give that up? That is the thing that you are using to communicate your curiosity to the world. You don't outsource that. You don't outsource your voice. But the landscape of artificial intelligence is changing rapidly, and I think we're going to see a lot more changes. We're going to see more and more of our work be supported, replaced by artificial intelligence. And I can imagine worlds where it makes me a better journalist, where I'm able to stay on top of hundreds, thousands of sources simultaneously to catch every cool new idea the moment that it surfaces. I can imagine tools that allow me to collaborate and maybe do interviews with people who speak different languages to give you a perspective on the world's space and astronomy exploration. And I can even imagine a day when artificial intelligence is a better journalist than me, that it is up to date, it is accurate, it does its fact finding, it is digging for the truth, and is able to create content that is fully customized to what you as an audience member will want. But it's not there yet. And I think it is many years away from it reaching that point. And I'm not going to give up until the very end. And so, like the question from the beginning, will AI take our job? And the reality is it kind of did. It took away our source of revenue and forced us to reckon with the reality of the situation that we live in. But it has allowed us to focus on the parts of this that are the most important to us, that we can make better videos, tell better stories, focus only on following our curiosity and communicating the universe to you, all while removing all of the ads and making a much better user experience for everybody, including us. And obviously this has impacted our business. It's changed the way we do things dramatically. and the changes are just going to keep coming. But that's just my perspective. And, obviously this is all happening in real time. It's overwhelming. The pace is stunning, and we're seeing things that we thought were once impossible to now be commonplace. And so I'd love to hear your perspectives. Write down in the comments how you feel that this wave of new technology is going to change and how you think you should adapt to this new world that we see going forward. And of course, if you haven't already, check out our website, Universe Today. It's free. There's no ads. I think you'll like it.